G'day guys, Chris here, Midlife Carpentry. Welcome back to another installment. Now this one is exciting. We are going to talk about one of the main reasons people are probably not actually taking on apprenticeships, and that is money. Now, money is a huge part of basically the decision-making process because as if you didn't already know, you will probably most likely be starting on a relatively low wage. Like that's kind of part and parcel of the whole thing. Obviously, it's up to your employer to pay accordingly, but there is an award rate that that is worked out from the government, and it's decided on your age, etc., and how much you should be paid depending on your industry and the type of trade that you have. Let me jump on the computer. We'll have a little bit of a chat about some of the award wages that are out there and how much you could potentially get paid as a minimum wage as an apprentice. Now, I'm not saying that this is what you'll get paid. What I'm saying is bare minimum, this is your starting point. And it gives you a bit of an idea about where you're going to be. Now, the thing about adult apprenticeships or mature age apprenticeships is that that pay rate is often the same all the way through for the award, okay? Because it is at the end of the day, it is up to the discretion of your employer. It's not a set thing that the government set. Like if your employer wants to pay you a little bit extra, pay you more than the award wage, then that's fantastic. That's great for you. So yeah. All right, let's jump over the computer. We'll have a look at a few of the award wages and we'll talk a bit more over there. Let's go through and see if we can find out some minimum wages for a couple of trades, and just to give you guys a bit of an idea on the potential hourly rate that you might end up being on, okay? Just to give you a bit of an idea. So let's see if I can find it here. Just gonna jump on the little computer and we'll see what we can find. Let's have a look. Okay, so the Fair Work Ombudsman, the Fair Work Ombudsman. Let's see what we got here. Pays and wages. Check and calculate pay, minimum wages, paying wages, deductions, rah. So we're going to go to the Fair Work Ombudsman. We're going to go to minimum wages. So pay wages, minimum wages. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to have a quick look at apprentice and trainee pay rates. All right. So then we're going to go apprentice. Use our pay conditions tool to calculate pay rates for all apprentices, including adult apprentices, and an apprentice who is 21 years or older when they start their apprenticeship, or school-based apprentices, an apprentice who still goes to high school while completing their apprenticeship. So there are two ways an apprentice can move at the next level of an apprenticeship. Time-based, the apprentice moves up to the next pay level after they've worked a certain amount of time, i.e. 12 months. Competency-based, the apprentice moves up to the next pay level. They're competent in a certain area and stuff like that. So total skills for the requirements and stuff. So, but this is a good spot. Fair Work is the way to go. This is kind of where you want to be. So power calculator. I'm an employee looking for pay rates. Do you know your award? No, help me find my award. Yes, I know my award. So in this instance, we'll say no, help me find my award. So we'll go through that. All right, see if that helps us out. Search occupation. So let's just say we're going to do carpenter. Apprentice carpenter. Let's do apprentice carpenter because obviously I'm a chippy. Let's make it easy. Select an industry, which will be construction. So building construction at an on-site trade. Select a sub-industry, building construction. That's fine. Select your award. You select a carpenter. Please select an award from the list below that matches the occupation or industry and type you entered, which is that one there. So building and construction on-site award. So do any of these apply to you? No, we're not a trainee. Are you eligible for a supported wage? At this stage, we'll say no, I don't think you can. Are you an apprentice? So we're going to say yes for this one, just to give us a bit of an idea. The classification. So we'll go first year for that one, fine, and then we go full-time hire, weekly hire, full-time. We'll put that in because most apprenticeships are full-time in Australia. So for this one we're going to put yes to an adult apprenticeship because obviously that's kind of what we're sort of focused on a little bit, I guess, on older blokes older people having a crack at apprenticeships. So we're just going to go yes for that one. We go next, carpenter and or joiner, including bridge and wharf. That one there, so carpenter and or joiner. So what sector are you working in? Civil construction or general construction, which is general, pretty standard. We go next. Do you work in the residential building and construction industry? We're going to say yes. Are you required to work underground? We're going to say no at this stage. Did you start your apprenticeship before 1st of January 2024? No to that one because we wouldn't have started. Are you doing an apprenticeship that is covered by electrotechnology training package. You go no for that one too. And what's the length of your apprenticeship? So we're just going to go 4 years nominal. So did you complete year 12? We go yes. Righto, here we go. So now you can see a bit of a summary on what you might be dealing with here. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So your pay rate summary. The pay rates on this page are the same for those or advisors give to customers who contact the info line. All right, so pay rate as of this time. So apprentice of first year apprentice carpenter, we're looking at a 26 hour 92 per hour rate. So that's 27 bucks. So if you're over 21, you're going to be earning 27 bucks an hour, this is minimum wage, mind you guys. So this is bare minimum. This is where you'll be starting from as a first year apprentice, okay? So hopefully this helps you out. Next stage, I'm going to have a little chat about a budget. How do you manage your budgets? How do you make sure your budgets are going to cover everything? How do you dot your I's, cross your T's for your budget? Now, the biggest thing about doing a budget is detail. Go through your bank statements, go through your phone, go through your actual printer statements, whatever you got to do, and find out where your money's coming out. That's the biggest thing. Every account that you have, find out that deduction and work out what it is and why it is, okay? Find out the time frame too that it comes in or out, okay? So to give you a bit of a rundown, this is what my wife and I have done. We've done a bit of a big spreadsheet. Now, I don't know whether you guys are into the whole barefoot investor stuff, but we've kind of got the whole splurge account and the daily expenses and lots of stuff, and then a separate savings account and home loan thing as well. So keep things separate in a sense, which works out well for us. It does. It's been fantastic. We haven't had a credit card for years. We haven't needed one. We're staying within our means, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's been great for us, really. So how do you do it? So it's all about details and stuff. So on the spreadsheet that I've done, obviously you guys can do your own spreadsheet. It's entirely up to you. But the way I work it out is I work it out off a weekly figure, as a per week amount as for expenses and stuff. So yeah, I'll go through life insurance subscriptions, private health. That's always a big one. There's plenty of subscriptions we have: RSCQ, roadside assistance, a couple of phones. We've got subscriptions. We've got sports, kids swimming. We've got all your Paramounts and Netflix and stuff like that in there. So all the monthly ones that come out, I just divide by 4 as a rough ballpark. Okay, divide that by 4, and that's the information for the weekly budget spreadsheet. So as you can see on this side, on the left-hand side here, you have a weekly daily expenses. Basically, it says daily expenses, but it's really weekly expenses. But that's your regular expenses and stuff that come out on a regular basis. And you can work out roughly per week what you should have. Now then you've got pay 1 and pay 2 in there sitting down here. So in this instance, my pay would be in there, pay 1, and Melissa's pay would be in the pay 2. Then you've got the pays and stuff like that down here. So the idea is that you put your payment figures in there. If you've got a little bonus or something else coming through, like from shares or something, other sort of a rental income or whatever, you can throw that in there too. And that gives you what your total actual income is. And then from there, that gets taken away from your cost per week and stuff, and it works out your difference. So you can see whether you're in the red or in the green, and you know where you're sitting. Now, my wife and I have been lucky enough to actually sit down and do this budget again the other day, and it's kind of nice. It's nice to see we're kind of in a position where we aren't sort of just breaking even. We're actually able to save some money, which is kind of nice. So you've done your budget, you've worked that out. Okay, that's great. How else can you get assistance in regards to money? All right. Now, there is a few things out there that the government do offer for people. So yes, there's living away from home allowances and stuff. So all you guys that are actually left home to try and follow a trade or get a trade somewhere else in a different town or city, that's another aspect that'll be handy for you. So the trade support loan was a very, very handy thing to have as well. Now that's available too. Now the idea of the trade support loan is it's basically starts from day dot. From the first day that you start your apprenticeship, you get different payments as time goes on through your apprenticeship, obviously to help boost your wage. Now this is a loan, okay? So this is a loan from the government that you do have to pay back. I've been paying mine back for the past year or two anyway, just paying a little bit extra tax. And obviously now they're not taken out of that, they should start to sort of depreciate a bit and limit the amount of debt I have with the ATO. But keep a couple of things in mind, all right? So that trade support loan, yes, you have to pay it back. The funds do change, all right? You have to monitor it and keep an eye on it and apply for each sort of session, all right? So say, for example, you know, you first, every 6 months, you've got to kind of log in and just double check, do you still want it? You go, yes, I do. And then it'll keep funding you as well. So it's once a month you get a payment, and it varies anywhere from the $800 in the first year right down to like $200-300, I think, by the time you get to fourth. But I'll show you up on the screen here. You can see those figures there. The other great side of it, all right, is there's actually an incentive. I don't know whether it's still current. I have to double check that. I'll double check it's still current, and I'll put a little, it is. But with the trade support loan, if you complete your apprenticeship, all right, completely finish your apprenticeship, you'll actually get a 20% discount on the money that you've borrowed from the government. So say, for example, I did say roughly about 20 grand, thereabouts. I think I ended up scoring close to maybe 4K offered or something around there. So there is a discount that was applied to the amount that I borrowed. And yeah, it was definitely on there, which is great because it means that I don't have to pay that back to the government. And that's a pretty good incentive, really. I mean, you technically got that money as a massive bonus in your pocket. All right. Although you won't get it straight away, you know, that sort of thing. Like it is money that you don't have to pay back the ATO. So yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think it's pretty cool. So very handy to have. Better the government carry your debt, and you try and make your best means to get to where you need to be. But yeah. Well, there it is. It's worked pretty well. We've got it all the way around to the sides and the top and stuff like that. I'll show you the footage and stuff there, but that's the idea. We just wanted to put a bit of a transition piece in from both sides, left to right, and the top, just so that we have the curved brick meeting that. We'll have this painted nice and white, and then we'll continue on the grey throughout the rest of the house from this other side as well. So it just gives us a nice little finish. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. So that's the front room. Hopefully that's helped you guys out. I think I've said enough for today. Of course, if you have any questions or queries and stuff, throw them in the comments. Get in touch on Instagram, see if I can help you out. I will try and keep this up to date as well. So if I find out some more information about income or another way that there is an income stream for an apprentice or something, or a bonus for an apprenticeship, I'll make sure I try and throw it out there for you, put it on the channel, and just try and keep it up to date as I go, because like sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes people just don't even talk to you about it. And when you're making that decision initially, like, it's important to know that there's that support there, and you go, hey, I couldn't do this apprenticeship unless this little bit of funds come in. Like, fantastic. A trade support line, like, don't be afraid to use it, like that sort of stuff. Like, these little things change that decision process and make you go, yeah, we can give that a crack because of that extra money. So yeah. Righto guys, you build on legends. Chat again soon. We do have one more little installment in this little series of 5 little installments on apprenticeships and stuff. And the last one is how to get through an apprenticeship. So I've got a little surprise that I might throw in there too. We'll see how we go, see how things pan out. But yeah, yeah, that's our next little chat. We'll talk about how to actually get through an apprenticeship. Yeah, let's see if we can do it, eh? All right, build on legends. We'll chat again soon and see you next time, eh? Yeah, bye.